You've probably heard of the charismatic movement, but have you ever asked the question, what is a charismatic? Is it their belief in spiritual baptism, known as the second blessing? Or is it their belief in spiritual languages, known as glossalia? Or is it something else? Hi, my name is Jake Elliott, and in this episode of The Framework, we're going to be looking at what makes someone distinctly charismatic. Now, I'm not sure if you've noticed this too, but have you seen people put charismatics and Pentecostals into the same bucket? It makes sense why they do it, because often we see a lot of spiritual paraphernalia happening over there or a revival happening over there, and we either put it into two camps, charismatic or Pentecostal. And at the end of the day, this does not help anyone in discussion or help us understand what makes someone a Pentecostal or a charismatic. But just because the Pentecostal movement has supernatural stuff happening and the charismatic movement has spiritual phenomena happening does not mean they are the same. It's the theology that actually distinguishes the camps from each other. And somewhere in between there, we don't really notice it, but there is the charismatic or people who practice the New Apostolic Reformation pushing their own agenda. And this is something I think that we need to start really focusing on. What is the theology of each one of these camps? And that's why I'm specifically focusing on the charismatic believer and what they believe. I brought up the doctrines of spiritual baptism and the doctrine of spiritual languages at the very beginning. Guess what? Pentecostals, charismatics, and charismatics, they can all believe that. So that's another doctrine that is not going to help us quickly figure out what a charismatic believes. So again, the question is, what is a charismatic? Now, would you believe me if I said it's actually all there in the name, that they're hiding in plain sight? The word in Greek that we're looking at in the name is charismata, and charismata means gift. You can find in Romans 12 and also 1 Corinthians 12, Paul specifically using this word to actually talk about the gifts of the Holy Spirit. So in Romans 12, 6-8, Paul mentions 7 gifts, and they are prophecy, service, teaching, exhortation, generosity, leadership, and acts of mercy. Now, if we go to 1 Corinthians 12, we will actually see more gifts mentioned there, some overlapping from Romans. So here they are in 1 Corinthians 12, verses 4-11. The following gifts are word of wisdom, word of knowledge, faith, healing, miracles, prophecy, discernment, speaking in languages, and interpreting languages. So there it is. Romans 12, 7 gifts there. 1 Corinthians 12, 9 gifts there. That is what makes someone a charismatic. They hang a theological cap on those verses to say, this is what I believe, this is what makes me a charismatic. This is the distinctive doctrine that separates them from the Pentecostal believer and a charismatic believer. Now, the reason why this is really important to distinguish is because I have met Pentecostals who actually claim to hold to the charismatic gifts. And I think if you see someone who claims to be Pentecostal or but believes this, feel free to share this video with them. But more importantly, let them know, if you can, that they're not actually a Pentecostal. They are a practicing charismatic. They need to change their address because they've jumped theological camps here. And that's really important to distinguish here, because this is how the New Apostolic Reformation have gotten away for so long. Pentecostals have been calling foul, charismatics have been calling foul against a certain group within this group, going, what is it with apostles and prophets? Why are you emphasizing apostles? Why are you emphasizing a prophet? Why are you pushing this weird supernatural stuff with angels and stuff like that? Well, that's because they're part of the NAR, and the NAR do their best to change the skin that they're wearing so that they can just be undetected. They'll either be Pentecostal or charismatic, or as Michael Brown said, he's a Pentecostal charismatic. And I think it's time to start seeing through this rubbish. So what do you think? What are your thoughts on the theological distinction which makes someone a charismatic? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. If you like this video, please share. And if you found this helpful, please share this on social media as well. I'd really appreciate that. And talk soon.